Sup boys, here's a quick recap of what's coming in 1.4. Rosaria is coming, so we all kind of expected Rosaria to be dropping in 1.4. She will be on the latter half of 1.4. There are going to be two banners that we'll talk about just briefly. Both the banners will be rerun banners, and Rosaria will actually be featured only on the second one for 1.4. I do plan on going into a lot more detail on Rosaria in a later video. Now, as far as those banners, we do have a Venti rerun and a Child rerun. I was really hoping for a Klee rerun, but you know, hey, I'll take what I can get, I guess. I will be summoning on the Child banner simply because Rosaria will be on the Child banner, so I kind of can look forward to that. But if you don't have Venti, I definitely say that you should get Venti. We do have some new weapons coming in 1.4. Elegy of the End, which is a 5-star bow. We have the Alley Flash, Alley Hunter, and Wine and Song, which are all 4 stars. All of these weapons are pretty particular in their effects, and because of my typical location on Honey Impact being so overloaded with people refreshing and, you know, basically asking for the information, the servers are pretty much taking a beating. So we'll talk about these at a later date. Just know these all seem like they're going to be on a weapon banner on their own. These don't seem like they're tied to the events at all, because there are some other things coming in the events that do allude to us getting a full Refinement 5 bow this go around. There is going to be a new boss that we can take on. He is the Abyss Herald. If you've been paying attention to any of the leaks, you will kind of have seen this guy. Originally in the CN stream, a lot of people, the way that we understood the things that were going to happen is this guy was going to be a new weekly boss. Unfortunately, they said it in the EN stream that this is a one-time deal, not going to be a new weekly boss. So that's kind of unfortunate, but at least we'll get to fight this guy and he looks super cool. There is actually going to be some story quests that involve Dainsleif, and he is actually going to make his return for some actual main story continuations. So we are going to be getting more Archon quests, which is actually really cool. Here's a code just in case you missed it. The way that the events are going to go in 1.4 is they have it broken down into 3 different sections. There's going to be a mini game where we actually shoot balloons and gain points off which balloons we shoot. There's going to be a mini game where you basically fall and kind of glide around to obtain points by collecting these orbs, and depending on how many points you get specific rewards. You can even do this in co-op. And then the last little mini game that we have is like a you basically get to play your own lyre. So you can see here that Venti is playing his lyre. You can hit, you know, keys on your keyboard, I'm sure buttons on a controller if you play on PS4, and you can just kind of play the lyre with Venti. What's cool is that lyre actually will be obtainable, and you can just kind of use it in the game to make your own music at your own leisure. So that is really freaking cool. Next, we have another mini game that is going to kind of revolve around what looks like kind of like a story dungeon. You basically just have to stay alive on these platforms and kind of, you know, go through and collect some things that you'll end up seeing in the actual domain here. You can see them collecting these pieces. As you can see here, we do have some of the rewards that you can get. As you see in the center, you do have the Windbloom Ode, which is the 4-star bow. They did mention that it could be refined all the way up to refinement level 5, so that's actually good. We do have Hangout Events, which are basically going to be kind of like story quests, kind of like side missions for these 4 characters to begin with. We have Barba, Noelle, Chongyun, and Bennett. A lot of people are kind of claiming that these are basically dating sims, which is kind of honestly what it feels like. So you can see in the very top right hand corner, we do have a couple of hearts up there. Basically, that is going to be an affection meter, and you do have dialogue choices that you can make. And depending on which choices that you make, you will end up getting different dialogues with your character. And it does actually show that you can go back and change those, so you can get kind of like all of the valid options, and you can go through the entire story and see everything. And there are rewards for doing that, which is cool. Here's another code for you. There is going to be an event where you basically take around this little pet Oceanid, is what they call it. You basically kind of catch the things from the Oceanade. So you can kind of see, you kind of throw it and catches it. Basically what happens is the little Oceanid will end up absorbing those monsters, and you, after filling him completely up, you get to keep him as a little pet, just like we got the Sealy from the last event. So then we basically have an Oceanade event where we can fight against the Oceanade, and you actually deal damage to it, and you don't actually, just fight a bunch of creatures that it gives you. It will give you these Heart of the Springs, and those can be used to claim different rewards and stuff like that. There are going to be a ton of rewards that you can get from this particular thing. And they did say that it was very co-opable, so that's actually pretty cool. It does consume resin to take some of the rewards, so that's kind of bad, but hopefully it kind of outweighs itself with the amount of rewards that we're allowed to get. We also do have this Contending Tides event, which is essentially, it's contained in this little arena, which is in Mondstadt, and it looks like a bunch of time trials where there is a time limit, and you just have to defeat all the enemies within that time limit, and it kind of just looks like an abyss that's not an abyss. So hopefully there are some decent rewards to this. With that burst of energy just right there, it does kind of look like there are going to be sort of kind of like ley line disorders. You'll see it with Zhao here. Yep. It looked like he used the charged attack and it like blew up some extra energy. Yep, it looks like it's going to be just a pretty much like an abyss thing with just different rewards. Here are a bunch of different optimizations that they're going to be making. Essentially, you can now hold up to 5 condensed resin. Recipes that have auto cook unlocked, you can also go back and cook manually just in case you need to cook a suspicious dish for a specific achievement or something. Cooking, crafting, and forging actions are basically going to save whoever last did those actions and continue to suggest that they do it again. So like if I used sucrose to craft some kind of material, because I get a bonus for using sucrose, it will remember that sucrose did that and it will suggest that she be used again, which is good. World level can be manually lowered by 1. You can only do that once every 24 hours, but it does adjust all of your rewards that you get from things. It's just to kind of, you know, if you ended up ascending to world level, 6 or something like that, and you're like, whoa, I need to go back down because this is a little too difficult right now, you can go back down. It does last for 24 hours and you can only change it once every 24 hours, but it at least gets you out of that situation where you're feeling overpowered if you ascended too quickly. It is only unlockable after world level 5. So world level 1 through 4, you just kind of got to deal with it. And then after world level 5, you can chop back down to world level 4 if you need to. You can also display your name cards on your profile and kind of show off the different name cards that you have. And Spiral Abyss will now allow you to retry from mid-battle. And it also gives you the ability to check your elemental resonance and stuff like that while you're choosing your teams and stuff, which is just a nice quality of life thing. And there's your last code for the actual thing. It does say that they're limited, so if you didn't use these codes already, get to using them. That's going to be it. Hopefully you guys are excited for 1.4. See ya.